What an interesting dynamic we have here in the Generation 6 console landscape. We just did a video about Xbox games that perform better than their GameCube counterparts and tend to be way cheaper. Yep. In today's episode, we're going to look into the same thing with the PlayStation 2. They don't always perform better than their GameCube counterparts, but man, are they a lot cheaper. What are we drinking today?
Today we're drinking Ecto Coolest by Barntown. This is a blue raspberry sour.
Dude, who you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
You know the drill. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that bell icon so you never miss one of our bi-weekly uploads. And sit back, relax, pour yourself a beer if you care to, and let's take a look at some PS2 game prices up against their GameCube counterparts.
Hi, this is Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters, and you're watching Gaming Off the Grid.
As we have already said in the episode we did prior to this, looking at Xbox versus GameCube games, now we're replacing Xbox with PS2.
Yeah.
We love the GameCube. This is by no means throwing shade at the GameCube. We love every console from Generation 6, but it's so interesting. The price gap. Interesting part about this specific episode is, though, the last episode we did, there's a large performance difference in most Xbox games compared to GameCube.
Yes. This episode,
we've closed the gap.
It's pretty close, and sometimes the GameCube might perform better.
Probably more often than not.
But I'm a huge PS2 fan. I'm also a huge GameCube fan. But the price differences and the games are basically the same thing. I would much rather pay way less for the same game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
so
it's not even that, for me, it's not that noticeable.
Is anybody playing Simpsons Hit and Run thinking about the performance of the game and feeling like that really has an impact on their overall experience with the game? Let's take a look at that game, because on the PlayStation 2, it's 46, almost 47% cheaper than the GameCube counterpart.
Yes, so the GameCube price for Simpsons Hit and Run is $55. On the PS2, it's $29.25, which is still kind of pricey for a PS2 game, but Simpsons Hit and Run is one of my favorite games.
It's great.
I will say that the PS2 version has lower frame rate than the GameCube version, but that's it. It's otherwise, besides that, the same game. Now you might be like, well, that's very important to me. Is it?
You gotta read your own mail. Is Simpsons Hit and Run a $55 game in 2021?
I don't think so.
I think you're gonna get the gist if you get it for $29.25 on the PlayStation 2. Now we're jumping into an arena.
Yep.
A Rumble Arena. Rumble Arena 2, Digimon Rumble Arena 2. We don't know a ton about this game.
I just know that it's Smash Bros. Like.
Yes, but the price gap here, I think this game's too expensive across the board, is rather large, coming in at 47.9, so we can call it 48%. It's pretty crazy for a Digimon game.
Yes, so on the GameCube, this game is $109.48. And on the PS2, it's still pricey, $56.99, and it's basically the same game. I don't know why this game is so much. I think it's just limited run, limited print. But even then, like, if you're gonna spend a bunch of money on this game, that's almost half the price.
Yeah, again, even if it's marginal performance differences, is it
worth that monetary value?
So you gotta look, like, double the price. Does it perform doubly as well?
Probably not.
I gotta think in many of these cases the answer is no. And this is an escalating list, so things are only going to get wider as far as a gap on a percentage scale as we go along. Let's look at a game that has kind of just popped up here recently, I feel like. I know RetroWolf88 talked about it a lot. There's been a lot of scuttle around this. It's a Flash game?
Yes, so this game developed as a Flash game, and then it did so well as a Flash game on the PC that they developed it for consoles, and that's Alien Hominid. Which
cool game.
I actually had the great pleasure of playing this with RetroWolf88 back at Siege 2021. It's a really fun, simple game.
There's some pain-in-the-ass issues with this game, though. When I was watching you guys play it, two-player co-op, kind of a run-and-gun style game.
Oh, when you do two-player, man, you get confused on who you are.
The players are the same color.
It's frustrating, but it's a simple run-and-gun fun game.
But, I mean, even back on Contra on the NES, you were different colors.
Yeah, I get it, but it was a Flash game, and then it did so well. But we're talking about the console versions.
Yeah.
Let's look at the price for the GameCube. The price for the GameCube is $65.68 On the PS2, the same game, Flash game, $33.92. I get that this game is high on both of them, but still, that's like half the price. I think there's like you use 2 buttons. It's simple.
Performance may be a thing. We're talking about a 2-dimensional Flash game, folks.
Yeah, how can that be any different?
I mean, I get it. There's supply demand. There's how many people bought it on the GameCube versus the PS2. But why would you get it on the GameCube?
I don't understand.
A decent enough, cool enough game, but just that price gap blows my mind.
Now we're going to move on to a game called Killer 7, which, in my mind, I wish it was a 007 game, because that'd be a sweet title for that. Killer 007.
It's a really cool game. It's a game developed by Capcom, if memory serves me right. It's a cel-shaded first-person shooter, a lot of story. I've always loved the look of this game. Yeah. It's honestly a game in my head that I've always considered a GameCube game. I don't know why. Because the PS2 version's way cheaper, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's so weird. So the GameCube version of Killer 7 is $71.64. Guess how much it is on the PS2? $34.77. Again, over half.
I mean, this narrative's gonna. It's
only gonna get worse.
Yeah, but this game, with its graphic style, which I love, but it's a cartoony, cel-shaded world. I know the GameCube version has lower load times, etc. But
yeah,
I mean, for that price, I mean, we're not dealing with like a Gears of War level of pushing a console.
No, it's just a simple. I don't get it. And that stuff, to be honest, if the game is good, that stuff doesn't bother me.
Yeah, some people it does, and you know, I would say, okay, if these games were like $5 or $10 apart, I might be willing to split hairs on these
to get
small,
the better version,
marginal performance differences.
But over half the price?
I gotta think, if I'm getting the same story, and for the most part the same gameplay, and I just gotta wait a little longer, I'm going with the PS2 version. And it's ironic, because some of these games we have on GameCube and not on PS2.
We might need it. Just like that was the same narrative of the last episode.
Yeah,
but now we gotta move on to a series that we love. And that's NHL Hits, except this version is Pro, which is cool because in the Pro version, it's 5 players on the ice instead of 3. Yeah. So that's kind of cool.
And we're experts.
Yeah.
NHL Hits 2002 and 2003.
We are kings.
But we haven't played Pro.
We will eventually.
Yes. But, okay, let's be real. Do any of these arcade sports games... I've played Blitz on Xbox. I've played Blitz on GameCube. I've played it on PS2. Honestly...
It's the same game.
If I'm really dialed in, I can like split them apart, but for the most part, when you're playing, having a few beers, does it really matter? NHL Hits Pro on the GameCube is a $27.82 game. Let's call it $28. On the PS2, it's $9.70.
Less than $10. You're like, oh, less than $30 for NHL Hits on the GameCube? That's not bad. But for under $10, the same game?
And the crazy part is I find this game in the wild quite a bit, which is... I don't see the GameCube version, but I do see it.
I don't understand the difference. And in case you guys are wondering where we got our prices, I have to say this every time because someone will be in the comments like, you guys are way wrong. We got all of our prices and all of our info from PriceCharting.com, which I know isn't the most accurate. I know it's not. It's just... It's just giving you an idea. We know this stuff, so quit commenting about it.
In defense of PriceCharting.com, they do pretty well. They do pretty well. I have sold in the last, 3 years... $50,000-$60,000 worth of stuff on eBay.
Jesus.
They're a good reference. I mean, if you've done that and want to tell me something different, let me know. They're a good starting point. They do pretty well.
But now we got to move on to the next game in our list. This is a Capcom cel-shaded racer. Hopefully I say this right. Auto Modellista. I think that's what it's called.
I think you got it.
Woo! So this game on the GameCube is $82.57. On the PlayStation 2, it's $23.97. That's a almost 71% difference. And here's the crazy part about this game is, it was first released on the PS2.
Then ported
to the GameCube. So no way is the GameCube version better. I mean, it might be slightly... But like, if it started on the PS2 and it did so well that they ported it, why wouldn't you want the initial version?
What I've seen, just my experience, just a guy, just observation, playing tons of games over the years. Xbox runs substantially better, I feel like, in most cases, not all. but in most cases than both consoles. The GameCube, I think, runs a slight bit better than the PS2, but we're usually talking about load times.
Yes. But
Maybe a slight frame rate thing here or there, but the gap isn't as large as it is when you're looking at Xbox. The Xbox was a powerhouse. GameCube and PS2 are awesome in their own right. Again, we collect almost equally for all three of these consoles.
we love all
this
three
generation.
of these.
But is it worth this difference?
No.
For a cel-shaded racer?
That's not even... It's not even that good of a game. It's all right. It got average reviews,
Yeah.
but like that's insane.
Capcom was loving their cel-shaded graphics during this era.
They were just like,
they were all
let's
about
be
it.
different.
Yeah, Scanner Darkly.
Which I get it. So now we got to move on to the next game on our list, which is Serious Sam Next Encounter. This is a first-person shooter,
And it came highly recommended. Like, a lot of people have said they want us to play this game.
which we might eventually.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing we'll play it on the PS2 because the price difference is insane.
Yeah.
So on the GameCube, Serious Sam Next Encounter is $55, which you're like, okay, that's less than retail now for like a PS5 game.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we get that. But on the PS2 complete in box, it's $14.99. What? It's the same game.
Hey, I just hate saying the same stuff over and over again.
We're just trying to get this through your head, guys.
Yeah, I
we
mean-
love the GameCube, but like that's dumb.
I love it, but like, tell me what is damn near 75% better about the GameCube version. I'm all ears. Tell me what I'm missing. I just think nostalgia has like got us a little skewed on Nintendo. Oh,
I think
shit.
well, that's because remember when we did our Gen 6 look back?
Yeah.
The GameCube performed a lot worse than all the rest of the consoles.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why it's so expensive because it has less.
Oh, I mean, for sure. A lot of these games, there's far less of them in the wild
But
than there are on Xbox and
But
PS2.
for third-party cross-platform games, I don't
Yeah.
understand.
You know, when I think of GameCube, and we've got a decent collection, but I'm like all like Eternal Darkness, the Metroids, you know.
Exclusives.
Yeah. Cross-platform games, I don't tend to.
I don't care.
There's a few that we have on the GameCube, but we tend to go other consoles.
Yeah. It just doesn't make
But, yeah.
sense. Now we got to move on to the next game, Beyond Good and Evil. On the GameCube, this game is $64.19. PS2 complete in box. This is nuts. Just saying. $13.14. That's almost an 80% increase.
Which
Dude, these games are basically the same.
is it worth saying this? Like you grew up with the PS2, I grew up with the PS2, right? Beyond Good and Evil, until we started like this channel, I always just thought it was a PS2 game.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even like, oh, that's a game, that's a cross-platform.
It didn't even seem like a cross-platform.
I thought it was a PS2 game.
Yeah.
Like for real. You could have told me it was a Sony exclusive before we started this thing 3.5 years ago. I'd been like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you were like, that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. But
But it's not.
no, it doesn't seem
I
to
think
be.
I think this might be a game where it's just GameCube and PS2 because there are some
Yeah.
of those where it's just not on all of them, but just this might be one of those.
I'm going to say that I think a lot, the PS2, from what I've experienced, outputs horribly through composite.
Yes. So if you're playing on composite, you'd be like, "Damn, it looks way different." You got to get component
Yeah,
cables.
you get-
dude. It is insanely
And this is
different.
very, very important, and this is because of a lot of trial and error, because you got to understand, we tend to be cheapskates.
Yep.
So, in our garage, we've got a Trinitron hooked up to a PS2 with like the Amazon component cables. Looks better than composite, but it just okay. But if you get the Sony component cables or the Monster
ones,
component cables, the gold tippers,
Now they will be pricey,
and
but
yet, now you got to keep this in mind. You got to play it on a CRT. The PS2 looks amazing.
yeah.
It's just like out of the box composite.
Yeah, everyone's like, well, we don't have a CRT. Well, everything, we have 2 CRTs in the game room, we have a bunch in the garage.
Yeah.
We play our PS2 and Xbox and GameCube on CRTs.
Yeah.
So that's our comparison.
Basically what I'm getting at, it's easier to get a good image out of the GameCube. I think the GameCube looks great through composite, through S-Video, and through component.
Yep.
The PS2 really leaps off the paper when you get it into the component realm. Same thing with the OG Xbox.
It's just, this is what you need. But now we gotta move on to the next game. Hopefully I say this one right too. Zatch Bell Mamodo Fury. This is a fighting game, and on the GameCube, this game is $108.24.
And perfectly being honest, full disclosure, we don't have this game.
No.
Heard of the game, seen some people play the game. We don't own this game. But it's bizarre, this price gap.
On the PS2, this game is $12.90. That's an 88% difference. I don't understand why.
Tell us why. Tell me why.
I will say that this game, the GameCube port of this game, is only available in the United States.
Okay.
So, if you get on the PS2, it's available nationwide. So that might be why it's worth so much. But $12 to $108? Is it
Doesn't make any
just
sense.
because you can only get it in the United States? It's worth that much more money? Almost $100 difference? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Do you like baseball?
I freaking love baseball.
What about backyard baseball?
Oh, dude, I was obsessed with the Backyard series growing up.
How about Ghostbusters?
Oh, I was also obsessed with that growing up.
All right. Well, let's go Ghostbusters, then we'll talk some backyard baseball. We'll
Okay,
back into this
teaser.
thing. Whoa, cliffhanger. Adrian, I love you. I know that's Rocky quote, but here we go. We are going to talk about the Ecto Coolest. This is definitely a Ghostbusters themed beer.
Themed beer, yeah. Ecto Coolest, Ecto Cooler, Ghostbusters. Look at this, it looks like freaking slime.
Yeah, it's bizarre. But before we get into this, I bought these when they were re-released. They expired in 2017. Anybody remember High C Ecto Cooler?
Oh my god, you guys remember this?
They're pasteurized. It says pasteurized on the side. I want to try these expired Ecto Coolers.
These have been expired for 4 years.
Yeah.
These have been expired since before I started the channel.
There are a select amount of people out there that probably for a year or two, every lunch they took to school had an Ecto Cooler.
Look at that, guys. That's just... Dude,
Yeah.
I know we did an episode a while back about nostalgia, but we did juice boxes.
I'm going to shake mine up a little bit.
Juice boxes.
Yeah. So, this is going to start our beer review. This may be the last Gaming Off the Grid video. Mine's leaking already.
Yeah, we might be dead.
Because this has been expired for almost 4 years
10% juice blend.
10% health.
Yeah.
That means 10% health.
I gotta do it like a normal beer review. Ghostbusters, only in theaters. Ecto Cooler, 2017. Citrus drink, pasteurized, 10% juice blend.
Only 80 calories per box.
Ooh, stay in shape. Cheers, everyone.
That still tastes great. Expired 4 years?
Whoa, it's actually really good. It's very sugary.
Yeah. Nothing wrong.
But now we gotta move on to Ecto Coolest.
Yeah, we gotta evolve.
Which is a Barntown beer.
So this
which
is what
isn't
we
expired.
Yeah, and this is what we drank as little boys.
Yeah.
And this is now what we drink as men.
I was gonna say as little men. So
Yeah.
cheers to
Cheers,
Ghostbusters.
yeah. Barntown Brewing. I've already had this a few times. This reminds me, like, almost 100% of the blue Icy Pop.
Whoa.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like 100% that.
That's a
I
good
don't think
call.
anyone, like, I don't want to be this guy. I don't know how you call this beer. Like, this doesn't taste like a sour beer.
Yeah, they call it a blue raspberry sour. It doesn't taste like a sour, and also like does it taste like blue raspberry?
Does it? I mean, this doesn't taste like beer. I love the theme. I love what they're doing, and I love Barntown Brewing. This is raspberry icy / Ecto Cooler in a glass.
Oh, it's just
I could drink this infinitely until I shit my pants, but I don't think I would ever end up drunk.
no.
Yeah.
Well, it probably might slip in.
Yeah,
there.
maybe.
But dude, comparing these two, it's like they freaking made it into an adult beverage. Nostalgia plays a heavy.
I'm gonna do this because we might have a good social media post right there.
You'll see that once the episode's out.
Might see that on the old socials. Woo! Everybody cares about that. Yeah. But nonetheless, we got to get back into this countdown, if you will.
Yes.
It's an ascending list.
The last game we got to talk about that is way cheaper on the PS2 than the GameCube And that's Backyard Baseball 2007. What I don't understand is I loved the backyard games growing up. I played them on the Game Boy Advance. I played them on the PC a lot. They were so much fun. They're simple. It's just fun.
And you missed out on the generation from the company that produced these games.
Yeah, Atari. Atari published these games. 2007, I will say, just as a general, sucks. Backyard Baseball 2007 is a terrible game. Unless you're playing it on PC, then it's decent.
I'm gonna guess it sucks anyways.
It sucks no matter what. So on the GameCube, this game goes for $44.99. So let's just say $45. This game sucks. $45. Okay, you're like, okay, well, it's still less than retail. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, blah blah.
I wouldn't even pay for this game the value that it's worth on the PS2. You guys want to hear what it's worth on the PS2? $4.89. Less than $5. This game, to me, is a dollar bin game. And it's worth almost $5 on the PS2, and
Damn
almost
near
50?
90% spread on a piece of dog shit. I mean,
it's because it's because it's a GameCube game.
It's worth noting, again, we've said it multiple times, we love the GameCube, but folks, you gotta take off your nostalgia goggles. You gotta take them off. Yep. Set them aside. The GameCube is awesome, but you gotta also put into the mix that the PlayStation 2 is awesome and the Xbox is awesome. And the prices of the GameCube market right now, they don't make any damn sense.
Why would you spend your hard-earned money on Backyard Baseball 2007?
I think GameCube pricing, when it pertains to first-party games, Mario Strikers, I get it. Mario Sunshine, I get it. What? Luigi's Mansion, I get it. What?
Smash Bros,
I get it. Melee, what? I get all that stuff, but when it comes to games that are on all three consoles and you're paying 80% more, it just really makes me question folks' sanity.
Yeah, if you're paying those prices, a lot of this is because people don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know a lot of this was this much different.
Yeah.
And if I was like, man, I kind of want this on the game because I like the controller, and you're like, oh, it's $40, okay, it's probably $40 on everything. So you probably just don't know. But if you do know and you're still willing to spend that money, that's a you problem.
Yeah.
Because that's a dumb thing.
And we got this fun rue in Generation 6 that's just brewing, right? Xbox always, I shouldn't say always, most likely performs better. GameCube most likely performs here, PS2 most likely about here. So you got to figure all that out. What's important to you on these cross-platform games, though? More often than not, I would say get the GameCube out of the mix and make your decision between the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox.
Yeah, they're probably comparable.
We love all three consoles. Yeah. I just don't think some of these
stupid.
Prices are warranted on the GameCube.
So stupid.
I really hope in these last two videos we've dropped some seeds into your mind meat. Yeah, let you simmer on some things to help you make better decisions. We just want to help educate, because some of this stuff's surprising to us. We do this YouTube thing all the time.
We're learning.
Yeah.
It's all about learning.
It's all about learning and evolving.
The more you know.
Anyways, we always appreciate you tuning in and subscribing to the channel. We'll see you next time right here on Gaming Off the Grid. But folks, you gotta take off your nostalgia.
Hopefully I say this one right too. Zatch Bell. Mama.
We just did a video on games for the GameCube that are super... Okay. Oh,
Hell yeah. We got it.
Woo!
I think we used Mr. Ernie for this.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters.
Nothing wrong. These are pandemic style flavors.
This is really good.
You could take this into a bunker.
Wow.